Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. This might be the first day that is not going great for me. Might be the nah, it's going great. It doesn't matter, guys. Listen, today, me and my teammate in the Realm Rail tournament, we just did not play as good as we wanted to. Honestly, it was just a huge underperformance. We are not satisfied whatsoever. It is really disappointing, but I do want to say congratulations to Kefri because he played great today. Him and his teammate Bird definitely deserved that win. And it's also pretty cool seeing a guy from Overwatch win, not just some other random. So I'm happy about that. Kind of a bittersweet feeling right now because fortunately, I got lucky enough to get an invite to the Keemstar $100,000 tournament tomorrow. I just got messaged about an hour ago that I would be in it, so I will have an opportunity to redeem myself. Anyways, I'm done talking about Realm Rail and all that stuff. I know most of you guys aren't here for that. Sorry that I took up some of your time, but today was incredibly insane for the Overwatch League. I did try to keep up with it as much as I could despite the tournament. New York Excelsior, what the hell, guys? It does seem like the LA Gladiators and all the Overwatch League players that we're saying, they're not as good as they used to be. They're struggling in this meta, which is just absolutely insane because as I said yesterday in my prediction video, it's just so hard to comprehend that New York Excelsior aren't insane right now, especially looking at the meta. Like, you would think it is tailored to them. So much Widowmaker, the Hanzo for Libero, Mako so consistent on that Diva, Mano just an overall insane main tank. Like, what is wrong? Maybe a little less Zenyatta play, but still there's a ton of Zen. I don't know. They definitely seemed to be uncomfortable today in the meta, and it looked like they were trying a lot of weird things that didn't make all that sense, you know? Like, Philadelphia Fusion were playing really standard, right? They were playing what you think the meta would be. Well, New York Excelsior was trying things here and there, and I don't know if this is the time to experiment. I know there's 3 series to be played, or, you know, 2 if they get 2-0'd. And it kind of makes me think, going back to stage 4 now, were the New York Excelsior even sandbagging? I don't know, man. It's something to be talked about. So we're definitely going to get into that set, as well as the 3-1 victory, London over the LA Valiant. That was a fun set to watch, and it was a little surprising to see the London Spitfire win, because after the Philadelphia Fusion beat New York, I was thinking, okay, maybe all the LA Gladiators guys and all the Overwatch League guys just know exactly what's going to happen. And they were all saying Valiant is going to win the entire thing, and it's going to be Philly in the finals against them. Well, I don't know. London took them out today 3-1, and yeah, it was close, but London definitely looked like the better team. And they're honestly just looking insane. And if it is a Philadelphia Fusion in the finals against London, I think London might be able to sweep that hard. But obviously, I'm looking way too ahead. This is just one series that was played from each teams today. There's going to be one more guaranteed, and possibly a third if the team that lost today can push it. So we're going to discuss all of this in this video. I know I kind of just went on there, and this is like a weird intro. Not really an intro. I'm still giving my thoughts on the matches. But I do want to stop here and talk a little bit about the Fissure situation with the LA Gladiators, because it seems like a little more information is coming out, maybe slowly, and we also have some opinions from like Monte Cristo, Doa, and also some drama with Slasher and ESPN. They kind of screwed him over, so we're going to get into that as well. And I mean, we're just going to talk about it now. So I guess if you guys are new around here, do not forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more daily content, and let's go ahead and get into it. Damn, a 3-minute intro. Yikes. Yeah, drop a like for the 3-minute intro, boys. Let's go. All right, so as I said, there has been some developments in the Fissure situation. Obviously, Fissure is going out on Reddit. He's going out on Twitter. Just social media is everywhere and defending himself as much as he can. And obviously, if he's guilty or if he's not guilty, he's still going to do all of this. But the way he does it in such a passive-aggressive way kind of makes me feel like he's guilty. That combined with the fact that nobody on the LA Gladiators, the coaching staff, the management staff, the players have come out and tried to defend him. And it's been pretty much over a week almost. It's been at least a week since he was subbed out, and it's been about 5 days since they lost. If he was truly innocent, I feel like somebody from their staff or one of the players would have come out by now and tried to defend him, because it kind of is ruining his name and the value of the player. So, and I know I've already made this point a few times in other videos, but it's like 3 days later now. The longer this goes on, the more suspicious it seems, right? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some tweets that Fissure made today, and also some Reddit posts he made. Starting off with the tweet, he said this: I thought even though a lot of people were blaming me for my absence at the playoffs, the misunderstandings would be cleared up. I thought if I was sincere and kind to others while explaining, they would also be sincere and kind back to me. I've been trying very hard lately, and I've been trying to put up with it and give everyone good answers. However, there are still people who criticize me and even come to my stream and curse at me. It was to the point where 200 people were banned during 4 hours of my stream. I was even more shocked to see that so many people criticizing me on Reddit were mostly Gladiators fans. I did not want to reveal deeper details since publishing the contents of Discord, but I do not think I can take it anymore. And then he linked in this tweet a bunch of screenshots of him talking to apparently a coach or just a staff member of the LA Gladiators. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. He asked his coach, "How many of the scrim meetings am I not coming to? Can I come to them all?" And his coach responded, "Yes." Then he asked, "The scrim I'm going to watch tomorrow has no relation to me, right?" The response was, "The coach decided that we would use iRemix for the entire playoffs. You don't have to come to practice anymore." Okay, was Fissure's response. Then Fissure tweeted responses to this saying, "If there was a conflict and I didn't want to practice, why would I want to participate in scrims and keep going to scrim meetings? Like you guys said, not coming to the arena was a bad decision. I really didn't think it would be a big thing. Next time I'll make sure that doesn't happen. That was so sorry, Gladiators fans." You know, I was most happy this year when this team came on the playoffs, but I was seated on a bench and too many people blame me. I do not know what to do. The hardest time in my life. GG's. I try my best. Okay, so that was everything Fissure said. I want to go back to the screenshots real quick and say, I mean, it's not really proof of much. The only thing it really proves is that one of the coaches or somebody from the staff of the LA Gladiators told Fissure that he wouldn't be playing anymore and they wanted to use iRemix. And this was on July 3rd. I mean, that's all this proves. This doesn't prove why he was benched. The coach doesn't say, "Listen, we feel Remix is better and we want to play with him instead." And he doesn't say, "Oh, you know, you threw a fit and we don't want to play with you because you've had some issues lately." It doesn't prove anything. So I don't understand why he's using this in his defense. One thing I will say, I kind of think it discredits him because why on earth would one of his coaching staffs be messaging him this? Like, why don't they live together? Why is he not being told in real life that he isn't playing anymore? I feel like before this, a bunch of stuff went down, and it was obvious not only to Fissure, but obvious to the players, the coaches, and just everyone that Fissure wouldn't be playing anymore. And that here in these screenshots, Fissure was just checking in and seeing what's going on, if he has to show up to practice, if he's going to get another chance to, you know, redeem himself. Because like I said, I really feel like, you know, if this was the first time he was being told he's not playing or the first time that something happened, it wouldn't be done on messages. Something prior to this happened. That's just me looking into it though. Honestly, this really proves nothing other than that, yeah, he was benched and we don't know what for still. And somebody on Reddit pretty much had the same response as me to this, and he got a decent amount of upvotes, and Fissure actually responded to it. So what this guy said, "I mean, it shows almost nothing. It could have easily been some shit went down with Fissure and the coaches chose not to play him because of that." And then Fissure responded, "Slasher said I refused to communicate with the team. If I did, would you have asked me why I could go to scrim? I was just at home. This is contradictory. I did not ask the team if I could play off from the Discord. I asked if I could show my ability to play with scrim, not a playoff match." Kind of confused with what Fissure is saying here. I just honestly don't fully understand it because, you know, his English isn't the best. But I mean, that was his response. You guys take it what you want. I agree with the guy who made the post above him. Regardless, this whole situation has pretty much gotten out of hand, and I do find it pretty ridiculous that we haven't gotten an official statement from the LA Gladiators pretty much covering what exactly happened. If Fissure went off and he's crazy and started a whole bunch of crap with the team, it needs to be known. And if he didn't, and it was just a coaching decision that they think Remix was better than Fissure, it needs to be known. Sure, either Fissure's going to get a ton of hate, or the LA Gladiators going to get a ton of hate. Pick one, because right now, both LA Gladiators and Fissure are getting a ton of hate, and I think only one of them should be getting a ton of hate, because only one of them is at fault. Maybe there's a world where both of them are kind of at fault, and honestly, there is one thing that does make me feel like Fissure might be innocent, and that is that the LA Gladiators have taken so long to say anything. Maybe their coaching staff just did make a horrible decision to play Remix over Fissure because they thought he was better, and they're scared of saying that. That is a possibility because it sounds logical to me, and that's honestly what I base a lot of my opinions off of, is the logical things. What I see, the facts, and I try to add them together, and what makes sense to me is what I believe. And that's one thing that does lean me towards Fissure's side, but that's kind of the only thing that makes me lean towards Fissure's side. Everything else is kind of stacked against Fissure, and it does seem like Doa and Monte Cristo might agree with me. Let's go ahead and take a look at this small clip from ESPN and did with Monte Cristo and Doa, which also started the drama between Slasher and ESPN. We're going to cover that after.
And he's trying to spin this whole situation publicly to be not about whatever actually happened. Yeah. But come on, so something happened there. Okay, this is like a long rant.
What did he do? What did he do?
But here's the thing. Even if he did something, right? Yeah. What professional sports team, let's say your star player has some sort of interpersonal issue with the team, you don't bench him for playoffs, right? Because even if you need to get rid of this player, you're lowering their trade value because the implied thing that they did must be so bad, but it can't possibly have been that bad because he wasn't like sanctioned by the league, right?
Sure.
So I don't like this whole situation just seems absolutely ridiculous to me.
So clearly Monty and Doa think something's going on, but they don't know what's going on, and this whole situation is just a mess. At this point, we honestly just deserve a response from the LA Gladiators. We need to know the truth, whether Fissure's innocent or guilty. Just tell us, stop making us wait. And I think that's where we leave it off at and move on to talk a little bit about Slasher and in relation to this article or video that ESPN did about the Fissure situation. So this is what Slasher tweeted out earlier today after this video was released. ESPN and Overwatch League caster's 5-minute video on Fissure/LA Gladiator situation does not cite or source me on information provided, including a potential move to Seoul or Fissure's statement, which were a direct result of my reporting. Monty says he did, and it was edited out. Damn, so Slasher's calling out ESPN here for not citing him at all in this video or article, stating that this information came from him. The fact that ESPN doesn't cite Slasher at all kind of shows that they don't take him seriously at all, and that kind of shows other people that maybe they shouldn't trust Slasher or take him seriously either. But at the same time, they're still using his information, so it's a little weird. I don't know what ESPN's deal is here. I did read some of the replies to Slasher's tweet, and apparently ESPN has done this a lot in the past, whether it's the NBA, NFL, or esports. They like to steal reporters' information and then not cite them whatsoever. That's a big deal when it comes to reporting because that's how you build your credibility, that's how you get followers, is by breaking a big story and then having a huge, news outlet breaking that for you and citing you. That's how you get your name out there. So the fact that ESPN won't do that for him is a little messed up. So Slasher and ESPN are going back and forth, and it's kind of funny because it all leads back to the Fissure situation and LA Gladiators versus Fissure. It's snowballed into this thing now. There's just so much drama and juice going around because of it. It's honestly crazy. And I don't know, boys. It's just time to eat, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and move on now and talk about the games from today. We already got into them a little bit, so we're not going to talk about them too long. But there are a few things to mention, especially about the matches coming up that they're going to be playing on Saturday and Friday. So we already mentioned it. Big wins for Philadelphia Fusion and London Spitfire today. But let's not get ahead of yourselves. Just because you win the first set doesn't mean you're guaranteed to move on. As we saw in the last round of the playoffs, the London Spitfire, they went down 0-1 against the LA Gladiators. And they went down badly. They got stomped, and everybody thought it's over for London. But they had a really good day, and all of a sudden they were moving on. So there is no reason we should say New York Excelsior is out of it or LA Valiant is out of it. Especially New York Excelsior because they are a team that we have known in the past to be able to adapt. Especially if we take their coaching staff into consideration. All season long, I have been praising the coaching staff from the New York Excelsior for being the fastest at adapting, for being the fastest at being able to read a team and figure them out and counter strat. The difference is, though, in the past, usually they would go down 0-2 in a set, then they'd take their little break, New York Excelsior would come back refreshed and look like they have just downloaded all of the information from their opponent, reverse sweep them, and they win. They didn't do that today, they got 0-3'd, but now they're going to have a ton of time to just download that information and adapt. Yes, they did experiment a lot today, but this could be their plan. Maybe they did that so they can get some hard research on the Philadelphia Fusion and how they're playing against them in this meta. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, maybe it isn't, but I'm kind of just in the mindset where I still can't comprehend the New York Excelsior losing. You look at them, they're literally the perfect team. They've been so consistent all year long, and I feel like they'll bounce back. Not to take any credit away from the Philadelphia Fusion, they played great today, honestly. They showed up, they looked like they were really prepared for this matchup, and they knew what they wanted to play, they knew what they wanted to do, and they just knew how to beat the New York Excelsior. All in all, I'm just really excited to see this next matchup between these two teams because I definitely think it's going to be much closer. If Philadelphia Fusion comes to play like they did today and New York Excelsior steps their game up, it will be an amazing clash and we probably will get another series, whether Philly wins it 2-1 or New York wins it 2-1. That's pretty much it for that set. Moving on to the London Spitfire and LA Valiant set. This one was a bit closer, but not really. London looked like the better team. And honestly, I just feel like they're hitting their peak. Every single player on their team is playing at their best right now. And their bests are literally the best in the Overwatch League. Prophet is playing out of his mind. He looks like the best Hanzo. Birdring is back on Widowmaker. Gesture is a Winston god. Fury just eats anything and everything you throw at him. I can't remember one Dragon Strike that did anything from the LA Valiant because Fury literally ate all of the good ones. It was crazy. Then we have Bedosin. He's playing insane on Zenyatta. And Nuts to just playing so much better than Closer was previously. So I don't know, man. These guys are insane. I don't know if the LA Valiant can bounce back. The only way LA Valiant beats the London Spitfire right now is if London Spitfire doesn't play as good as they did today or as good as they did last week against the Gladiators. I really do feel like it needs to be an underperformance from London for them to lose. It's the only way right now. They just look so good right now, and maybe I'm saying that as a fan. Who knows, but they've restored so much faith, and I really do think they're going to win the whole thing. Maybe I'll curse them, even though I don't believe that stuff. Who knows? But that's going to be it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, do not forget to drop a like on it. Subscribe to my channel for more daily content. Again, I will be playing in the Keemstar Realm Royale tournament tomorrow. That starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to check that out, be sure to do it. And I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.